All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Loading. I'm your host, Derek Quinn, and today I have a super special guest on. He's a mentor to me, the president and CEO of Evolution Ave Group, based out of the tri state area of New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. Also, the host of the new show, the new podcast, Evolution Ave Podcast, that you can find anywhere on any podcast platform. My guy, Kenyon Hunter. Kenyon, what's up, bro? How you doing?
Derek, what's up, my guy? Man, look, so happy to be here. Yeah, I appreciate you so much. Thanks for having me, and looking forward to a great show. Looking forward to connecting with your audience. I'm stoked, man. You know how it is when we connect, man. I'm still like on fire from being out in California a couple weeks back, hanging out with you, man. So we just keeping the vibes going.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago it was a good time for sure getting to hang out with you and your boy, and it was a good time chilling for sure. And you know, a lot of people aren't going to know this, but I'm just going to say it. This is the second time we've had to record this because the audio on the other one was messed up, but it's all good. As we're getting started in this podcasting world, we're learning, and it's good though because anytime that we can chat, it's good value, and I know that a lot
Oh,
of people are going to
100%.
bring good value to the people. But yeah, I think that you're kind of like the perfect first guest for this show because a big thing on what I like to talk about is kind of like life improvement and career improvement. That's like a big reason for the show. And as someone that's like yourself, that's even though you're the principal, the CEO and president of this really successful team, this real estate team, you're still relatively new into the real estate world because you tried a bunch of different things. And that's what I think a lot of people are still trying to figure out is being able to try a bunch of new things. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your background and kind of how you got started into real estate?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's crazy. I had like a pretty much a full circle journey into real estate. So when I got out of college, look, growing up, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And one thing I knew that I was really good at was I was good at talking to people. I was good at building relationships. I think my voice is my gift that I've received from God. We all have these gifts inside of us that we're really meant to give to the world. You might have heard me talk about before how I used to think my gift was, man, I got this rocket arm. I'm going to be an NFL quarterback one day and come out of my city and represent well. But I didn't quite get that growth spurt that I was hoping for in high school. So then I had to discover what was my gift. And that thing was I have this, some people call it the gift of gab, but I always said, man, my voice can move things, right? So
Mhm.
after college, I went into the sales world, had a couple different sales gigs, got into real estate investing pre 2008. And so that was my first like foray into real estate, did some mortgages, did investing. And then 2008 happened. Everything kind of went downhill after that. And from there, I went into the tech world. And in the tech world was
Okay.
great, man. I worked for some big companies like Microsoft and IBM. It was great. It was like almost like a dream come true for most people to say, hey, man, I work for like these really big logos that you heard of. I mean, who doesn't know who Microsoft is? Who doesn't know who
Right.
IBM is? And
Mhm.
I was working on like big strategic accounts with big enterprise companies. So it was a very like glorified position or positions that I had, but I always wanted more. I wanted something for myself. I wanted something I can build and something that would help me help more people build their careers, their mindset, build wealth, whatever it was that was important to them. I wanted to really help them build that. So I had read The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, and
Mhm.
when I read the book, I said, "Oh," like a light went off. I said, now, this book isn't just being a day-to-day transactional real estate agent. This is like building an organization, building a corporation. And remember, I'm coming from corporate
Right.
America. So
Mhm.
that intrigued me very much. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and get my license. So I got my
Mhm.
license in New Jersey and Pennsylvania, and started at Keller Williams initially. I was at KW, was there for a few
Mhm.
years. Then I went to Compass. I was at Compass for two years and some change, and then we
Mhm.
recently went over to EXP as a part of the Wolfpack Times Evolution App. So we have a great
Yeah.
collaboration over there where I'm
Cool.
able to help even more agents. I mean, you know me,
Mhm.
Derek. I am a person who likes to serve. It's
Mhm.
it's not, look, I love success. I love winning, but I'm trying to
Mhm.
get more so I can give more, right?
Right.
And that's pretty much like the high level overview of my real estate journey. But yeah,
Mhm.
I got into it because I wanted to build something and I wanted to be able to help people, and people on both sides help people fulfill their real
Mhm.
estate dreams, whether it's buying, selling, or investing in
Selling.
real estate,
Right.
but also the agent side, right? Because the more agents I help, the more people we help. So
Mhm.
here we are, man. It's been a great journey. Still super excited about it. The future of real estate, looks bright. Technology is changing the way we do business in a lot of ways, but I'm also a tech
Mhm.
guy, so I embrace it. and I just
Right.
want to keep having fun.
Yeah, and that's such a cool thing, and that's why I think that we have such a good relationship because I think we come from not only just real estate, but our career paths and kind of like our purpose in life. It's very
Mhm.
similar. It's our goal is to bring impact, to bring value to people, and that's why when we talked and why you were a big inspiration for me starting this, it was because we had talked about like each starting our own podcast and
Right.
kind of getting it going, and because we want to bring value to people. Obviously, we enjoy doing this and we enjoy getting connect with a lot of really cool people that we get to bring on to the podcast. And even though we're just getting started, we know that with our work ethic and our values that it's only going to take off from there. But I think the main goal for this is to bring some value to people, and that's why I
Absolutely.
do real estate. That's why you do real estate, and because obviously the money's important and the money's really good when you do it really well and you build a consistent business. Not gonna
Right,
lie
right.
there,
Absolutely.
but you're not gonna you're not gonna be able to take your money with you when you're gone, you know? What you're gonna be able to take with you is the impact that you left on the people around you. That's how you get remembered. And that's the point of this podcast. That's the point of doing real estate. Like for you, I know a big reason for you wanting to do real estate is just because you want to help other agents grow. That's your, I guess I would honestly say probably your main purpose is you want
It
to help real
it
estate
is,
agents
yeah.
grow their own wealth.
It is, and the reason for that is, I mean, look, I hope like I don't have clients saying, "Oh, well, what about us? Don't you love working with us?" No, I do.
Yeah.
But see, if I'm good at something, it would be a disservice to the world not to help other people be good at that too, right? Because
Hmm.
I'm one person and I can do this much. If I help multitudes of people, we can do this much, right? Simon
Right.
Sinek says, "Better together." There's so much more we can do as we scale. So I believe in scale because we're going to help. I can only help but so many people. It's only 24 hours in
Mhm.
a day. I'm a family guy. I have obligations. I can only help but so many people achieve those real estate dreams.
Mhm.
But if I help other people bring out the best in them and not become me, but become their best versions of themselves through some of the things I've learned, because the only
Mhm.
shortcuts in life are learning from people who've already done what you want to do, have been
Mhm.
successful at it, or achieving at a high level and living a life similar to the life that you want to live. So for
Right.
me, it's important to help agents because you can say, "Hey, am I trying to duplicate myself?" I mean, that would be ideal, but
Right.
I think everybody has their own way of doing it and doing it in a great way, but we learn it from other people. I love collaborating with you, man, because you're right. Me and you have the same mindset. We hit it off the minute we met virtually,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And when you have that vision, that goal of serving and helping others, it's just like Zig Ziglar always says: the more people
Mhm.
you help get what they want, you'll get everything you want, pretty much, right? And
Mhm.
I believe that. I believe in serving. Um, that's just I try my best. Look, we're not perfect, but I try my best to live a servant life. I mean, I do like things. Love coming to California and
Mhm.
taking in the beauty of Cali life.
Mhm.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But we got to remember what's first, right? And what's first is I'm,
Right.
I'm here to impact people and leave a
Mhm.
legacy for the world.
Yeah, and that's a big reason why I love doing real estate. For me, my biggest thing that I enjoy doing is like you said, bringing value to people, connecting with people, and just being able to have an impact on someone. Because when someone reaches out to me and said, "You inspired me," or "You just had such a big impact on helping me get to where I'm at now," even the little things that you can do for that sort of thing is just the most rewarding thing you can do. And a lot of that has to do with helping someone, like you said, helping someone with their real estate dreams, like buying or selling a house and investing too. But mainly buying and selling, it's like the biggest thing that anyone's going to do in their life, the biggest purchase someone's going to do in their life. So being able to make that kind of a smooth process is definitely very rewarding. And a big turning point for me was, I kind of said this on my last episode, but when I read the book The Go Giver, they have the law of value, which says your true worth is determined by how much more you give in value than you take in payment. So, like having that sort of thing and being able to truly bring value to people is just such the biggest blessing and the biggest thing you can do. And that's why it's important to surround yourself with people who think like minded. You can run ideas through them to be able to, yeah, just leave the biggest impact you can have on anyone, whether it's people working for you or who people listening to the show or anything like that.
Absolutely, man. And you know what? One of my favorite sayings, man. Your vibe attracts your tribe, right? I
Mhm.
think that was one of the things that probably kind of sparked our
Yeah.
conversation off. But
Mhm.
it's true. And you want to be like-minded people. You want to keep your you want to build your circle, build your
Mhm.
network, but you build your network with people that you think alike, you share some views, and people that you can really vibe with, people that you can really, you're in like this, almost like this effort together to make a difference, to make a change, to really make a
Mhm.
great impact. So yeah, I dig it, man. And then one of the books I'm reading right now is the magic of thinking big. And right. And
Mhm.
and once again, it talks about these things, man. Like life is about abundance, life is about prosperity, but people get mixed up what that means. Just like
Mhm.
the book you had me read, I love the 12 week year. Man,
Yep.
that book was a life changer. But a lot of these books that you read, they say the same things. Like
Mhm.
living in abundance is living in gratitude, right? Where do you get gratitude from? Yeah, things that happen great for you, but the biggest gratitude is, or the biggest feeling of gratitude, I feel like, is when you do something great for other people and you see them succeed
Mhm.
and that comes back to you. To me, that's golden, man. You can't beat that.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing I think that kind of tails off of that and kind of what some people might have a problem with is when they get into one career, they're just starting one career, they go to school for a certain thing, they think that that's what they have to do. Even if it's not fulfilling them and what they're not passionate about, they're just like, I need to make money and I need to stay at where I'm at because this is what I trained for, this is what I work for, even if they're like 5, 10 years in, even 20, 30 years in. That's kind of what they're thinking. They feel like they're stuck. But in all honesty, that's not true. Like, you need to try and do things that are really um, inspiring to you and things that you need to that make you happy, and coming from you, that's kind of like a big thing that you did was when you were doing all these things and getting into real estate a little bit later.
Yeah, I think it's important to experience things. I spoke to a school yesterday and I said, listen, we all, you have something special inside you. You have a gift. You have something amazing to give to the world, and you might not know what that is yet. And don't let that stop you from living life, from
Hmm.
exploring life, from trying to figure it out. You know, they always say to live an extraordinary life, you have to take extraordinary chances. You have to take extraordinary risks.
Hmm.
And I think that's so big. I think that's so important because remember, our future, we're creating our future moment by moment. And most people don't
Right.
realize we have the power to create and shape our future with every single
Hmm.
thing we take. Right now, every single step we take. Right now, D, you and I are talking right now. We're creating
Hmm.
our future. We don't know whose
Right.
lives we're touching by
Mhm.
having this conversation or whose mindset we're going to shift. But the
Mhm.
words and every single moment that we spend and the way that we're sharing openly and with an authenticity that's very, very encompassing of us, we're shifting things. We're
Mhm.
changing the future, and somebody's future is going to change, man. So yeah, it's great to try new things. It's great to find out where your gifts are, and what is that thing inside you, that inner greatness that's just meant for you to give to the world. So but sometimes you gotta try it out, and all of our experiences make us who we are.
Mhm. Yeah, and there's a saying that I've been hearing a lot lately that's been popping up on my feed. It's like when I do something and I don't succeed at it right away, I'm not failing, I'm learning a lesson. And sometimes you need to learn as many lessons as you can to really
Yeah,
get it right. And like even the greatest people fail. Like the greatest of the great, the most successful people in the entire world, the Jeff Bezos, the Elon Musk, any of those people, they failed 100 times before they got one right. And all it takes is really getting one right to really try and find your passion. But that goes with having to work hard for it. And that kind of leads to what you did when you were first getting into real estate was working a full-time tech job and then working in real estate on the side.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I had to figure it out, right? I mean, look, real
Mhm.
estate is a risky business. It's
Mhm.
not. I always tell people it's not. It's simple, but it's hard, right?
Mhm.
It's simple because it just requires you to have a routine and to do certain things day in and day out and become better and become successful at those things. And
Mhm.
the results are going to work themselves out. It's
Right.
hard because most people are not willing to have a routine and do things day in and day out. That might be
Right.
hard. That might be things they don't want to do. Most people don't want to hear the word no. And if you're in
Mhm.
any real estate or any type of sales, I don't care how at the enterprise level or the B2C business to customer level,
Mhm.
business to business level, doesn't matter. You're going to hear no. I always tell people,
Mhm.
like, look, I don't care about the no's. I care about the yeses.
Mhm.
I don't
Yeah.
take it personal. Right.
Mhm.
But yeah, you definitely, it's a lot of work. It's tough.
Mhm.
But when you commit to something, you commit to it because it has value. So,
Mhm.
and how do I put it? So the work that you put in real estate,
Mhm.
the time and the energy and the investment you make in it,
Mhm.
the result has to be worth more than all those things. That's why we
Mhm.
do it. The
Mhm.
reason why we buy certain things, we buy luxury items or premium items, there's no rhyme and reason to buying some of these things. There's no rhyme and reason to buying a Louis Vuitton duffel bag where you can go get
Right.
a Nike duffel bag from Dick's for $60 or you pay
Yeah.
3 grand. The
Mhm.
reason why you buy the upscale duffel bag is because what you pay for it, that
Mhm.
bag means more to you, is worth more than what you paid for it, right?
Right.
So when you're pressing on to do what you want to do, whatever
Mhm.
your goal is, if it's real estate or anything else, the work that it takes to be successful is worth the result, right? The
Mhm.
result of that work is worth more than what you put into it. So
Yep.
that's kind of how I look at it, man. I look at it that way, and it is the secret to success. It does take it does you have to put your work into it, right? You get in what you
Mhm.
put in, you get out what you
Yeah.
put in.
Absolutely, and I think that another thing that's super important with it is finding something that you're passionate about, finding the right reasons why you want to do certain things. Because a lot of people can be like stuck at a job and that they thought they might have liked before, and now they're kind of forgetting why they wanted to do it or why they started it. And a lot of times when I talk to people, it's just like, go and try something new. It's never too late. You can be in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, however old you are, and it's never too late to try and start something new. You always want to kind of do things to fulfill yourself because that's what's going to help you live the best life that you possibly can. Not when you're unhappy and stuck at whatever career job that you want to do. If you see something you like and you have the right reasons why, go for it. A lot of times the growth happens when you step outside your comfort zone. It's easy to stay in that comfort zone and to be unhappy or just be comfortable in your life. But if you really want to grow in life and become as successful as possible, you need to step outside the comfort zone.
Absolutely, all the growth happens outside the comfort zone, right?
Mhm.
Um, Comfort is the enemy of success, and
Mhm.
it's always the case. There's no growth in the comfort zone. So I 100% agree, man. You have to be willing to step out there, take the risks, work hard, and you're gonna get what you put into it, right? So that's
Mhm.
the main thing. But you gotta put in real estate. You know it, Derek. When you start off,
Mhm.
you gotta have a mindset for this, man. You gotta,
Yeah.
I like I said, I don't take the no's personally. I just want to get to that yes. I was telling
Mhm.
this class yesterday. They were asking about real estate, how you start, and I was telling them how, when I first started, I was old school, man. Look,
Mhm.
I started my social media campaigns, but I wasn't there. I was new. So I
Mhm.
did go to neighborhoods and pick out 50 homes and knock on every door. Hey, how you doing? My name's Kenyon Hunter. I'm a new local real estate agent. Wondering if you want to sit down, talk about buy, sell, or investing, or if you knew anybody. No, get away. Okay, great. Hey, how you doing? Next door. Hey, how you doing? My
Yeah.
name's Kenyon Hunter, new local real estate agent. Want to know if you wanted to talk about buy, sell, investing real estate, or if you knew anybody. Nope, get away. Hey, how you doing? My name's Kenyon Hunter.
Yeah.
New real estate agent in the area. Want to know if you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing, or if you knew anybody. Hey, absolutely. We're looking at investing. Oh, we're pregnant. We're having a kid. We might want to upsell, upsize from this house.
Yeah.
Definitely love to talk to you. Great. Where can I sit down? You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, but
Absolutely.
everybody's not willing to do that though, man. Everybody's not willing
Mhm.
to just keep going. Everybody stops. And
Mhm.
so when it comes to something that you really want, the reason why I think it's good to find what our passion is, what our gift is, what is that thing that we just have so much greatness in that we can give to the world because we can do it effortlessly, is also the value behind it, right? Like me, look, I have a
Mhm.
family. So for me, I I have a lot riding on my production every day, right? I have a lot
Mhm.
riding on being productive every single day and trying to make some great things
Right.
happen. So it's my why, right? We got to have those
Mhm.
whys because if you don't have those whys, if you don't haven't figured out what your why is, it's going to be very
Mhm.
hard to be successful. It's going to be very hard to be, live a life of prosperity because it takes work and you have to have that why, that thing that means so much to you that you're willing to do whatever it takes, right? You're willing to take the nose. You're willing to take that extra step when it's raining outside to meet another person. There's so many things, but
Mhm.
you got to have some meaning behind it so you won't just keep the whole stop and start and stop and start, quit, jump into something else.
Yeah.
Find your why, build your value proposition.
Mhm. Yeah, and when you're trying to figure out your why and you're trying all these things, like you said, it's important not to give up and not to just start and stop. Like it's a roller coaster. Any business, anything that's truly worth it, it's going to be a roller coaster, and there's going to be failures. And it's easy to kind of give up on those dreams because you're not seeing the results right away. But like you said, having that right why and having that momentum is is a good foundation and the best foundation you can have. But in all honesty, you have to be consistent with it. Like you have to be consistent with your daily routine, really, and get up every day and kind of do the morning routine and just start your day the same so you can try and be as successful as you possibly can each and every single day.
Yeah, I mean, look, the 12-week year, that was a big book when it came to that, right? Having that
Hmm.
routine, having
Yep.
that commitment, having daily goals, having weekly goals, get
Hmm.
away from the annual goals that always end up pushing us way back. And next, we're scrambling in November and
Hmm.
December. But I
Hmm.
believe in having a routine, man. You need that track to run on each and every day, and you need to commit to those things. And a
Hmm.
routine is a commitment, right? Think about the people
Hmm.
who I always say, I wish I can go to the gym at 5 a.m. and be done,
Yeah.
by 6:30.
Right.
So I used to. I've had times in my life where I got into it, but it's a
Hmm.
commitment to get into that routine, right? And then you
Hmm.
go on vacation and you're on vacation sleeping late. And then when you come back from vacation, it's really hard to get back to that routine. It's really
Hmm.
hard. You can do it, but you have to push yourself. But it's really hard. But that's how important a routine is. But I bet when you were consistent in going to the gym that early, you're probably in the
Hmm.
best shape of your life. You probably felt good. I bet your days felt amazing after you
Hmm.
had your workout already done. So
Hmm.
routines, systems, processes, but at the end of the day, it all takes a big commitment.
Yeah, and yeah, everything that you do when it's something you're passionate about and you have the right why, it takes that sort of that next level commitment to really get there. And like I alluded to, I know we touched on it a little bit when getting into real estate for you and working a tech job and wanting to build a career and a business in this real estate world. Why don't you kind of touch a little bit on what your days looked like when you were working full-time jobs, but you were like, I really found what I'm passionate about and it's real estate, and that's what I really want to get into because sometimes you need to have that transitionary period to get to that point. So why don't you talk a little bit about how your transition went from the tech world to the real estate world?
Yeah, absolutely, man. So look, Tony Robbins, I listened to a lot of YouTube, a lot of podcasts, Tony Robbins,
Mhm.
Les Brown, Eric Thomas, Ed Milet, you name it. I love these guys. Evan Carmichael has a great show where he puts a lot of greatness in one show with a lot of different people. But Tony Robbins, I've seen him live, great energy. But one of the things I remember him saying was, he started off with a job that he had
Mhm.
from 9 to 5, and
Mhm.
his life, his business didn't start until 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. I heard him say that once. That's how I felt when I was doing both, when I was a dual career agent. I felt like,
Mhm.
look, I'm working at these big companies. I'm working from, 8 o'clock in the morning to 6, or I'm traveling sometimes over to the
Mhm.
West Coast in the Silicon Valley, or going to meet clients in the Midwest or down in Florida or Atlanta. I had to build my real estate business either super early in the morning,
Mhm.
uh, during certain breaks. Luckily, we have these technologies that help us. We can manage things from anywhere, right? So I can
Right.
do a lot of multitasking. But
Mhm.
late at night, I was up late at night all the time, right? I would,
Mhm.
because I have children, so I wasn't going to spend my whole afternoon and evening and avoid my children. A lot of times, I was with my kids, spending time with them, with my family,
Mhm.
having dinner with the wife and kids. Then when
Mhm.
they went to sleep, I'm up. I'm
Mhm.
up. I had a
Mhm.
client email me this morning, and I don't when I send emails or texts out, I don't expect them to reply. I know they're probably asleep or whatever, but
Right.
he said, "Wow, you emailed me at 1 o'clock last night, 1 a.m. in the
Mhm.
morning, and
Mhm.
you're texting me. You're replying to my text at 6:15 a.m."
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes that's my quiet time late at night or
Mhm.
early in the morning. Those are my quiet
Mhm.
moments. That's before the house wakes up, before most people are getting started. So, but it takes a certain type of person, because some people, when they're done with their family obligations, or even if they're single with no kids, they just want to sit
Mhm.
down and watch Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Netflix
Mhm.
is distracting, right?
Yeah.
Netflix doesn't impact my life, right? I mean,
Mhm.
indirectly, maybe, because I watch a lot of documentaries. I think I learned some things from it, but
Right.
for the most part, it doesn't. So you have to be able to commit to what you want to do. And When you
Mhm.
commit to something and you're fully committed, and especially when you're passionate about it, what happens? You just do it. You want to do
Yeah.
it, right? There's no, it's almost effortless. It's like it's automatic.
Mhm. Yeah, and that's a big reason, I guess, why we started this because we're passionate about it, and it's a grind. I mean, we both have full-time careers being real estate agents, and you're running a team and doing that and speaking at tech conferences and coming to California for that sort of thing. But
Speaking at the
we're
schools.
speaking at the schools, there you go, just bringing value. But
Yeah.
it kind of all falls into that. This is what we love, and if you're doing something you love to do, and you're really bringing that impact and that value or the right why, then it's really like not working. And it takes a big leap because when getting into real estate for me, I didn't have a backup plan. This was plan A, plan B, plan C, just kind of jumping into it full time. There was no backup plan. And I think that's another thing that you kind of have to realize is I hear a saying, if you have a plan B, you don't have a plan A. So if you have a fall black plan, you're not going to fully commit to that first plan that you really have. So you really need to just if it's something that you're super passionate about and you're thinking about it and you're like, I know this is what I'm supposed to do. I want to do it, but how do I start? You just have to jump in. You just have to go for it because when you take that risk and step outside the comfort zone, I mean, that's when the great things happen. So if you feel it and you just know it's meant to be, then you just need to do it.
Absolutely. I always say the best time. I asked an agent a question this morning, right? An
Mhm.
agent thinking about partnering with me. He said, "Yeah, we're just trying to figure out the timing, right? Because him and
Mhm.
his fiance are both new agents, and they're at
Mhm.
another brokerage, and they
Mhm.
want to partner with me." And he said, "We just have to figure out the timing." And I said, "Well, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm not, this is totally
Mhm.
your decision, your timing." Excuse me if you hear my daughter in
Yeah,
the background.
it's all good.
She's
Family
having a
man,
party.
family
Family man.
man, first and
Yeah,
foremost.
she's home today. So, um,
Yeah.
my 7 month old, but 8 month old. But anyway, uh, they said, timing. Yeah, we got to figure out the timing. And I said, well, I'm not trying to sell you, but here's my question because this is a question I asked myself. If there was ever a time to be super successful and it was up to me, I can choose it. What would that time be?
Mhm.
Right? Who's going to answer?
Mhm.
Well, I don't want to be successful for another 6 months. Nobody says that,
Mhm.
right?
No one,
Now,
right.
now's the time.
Mhm.
So if there's something in your heart, there's something in your mind, and we all have these things that are in our heart of hearts sometimes that we want to do,
Mhm.
and we're a little scared. Look, we all have trepidation. We all have fear. The difference between
Mhm.
some people have fear and they don't do it. But then the
Mhm.
people who succeed are people that had fear, but they had the courage to keep moving forward, right?
Right.
So, and that's the key to life with everything. Just keep moving forward. We all have the same feelings. We all have the same fears. We all have trepidation, but we don't know what we don't know, right? And like I said,
Mhm.
that future is created moment by moment. So we
Mhm.
have to go into those moments to experience these moments, and we never fail because most people, the fear is failure. But
Mhm.
when you understand, like you said it earlier, Derek, when you understand there's no such thing as failure, we only
Mhm.
learn and we only grow.
Mhm. Yeah, and it's easy to kind of get in that mindset that like I failed or I didn't do it. It's like no, I learned the lesson. And we had a conversation probably like around a month ago when I needed some inspiration. I was like, "Yo, Kenyon, can we like just talk and need some inspiration going through like the a little rut because like I said, life and business, especially when you're new and starting it, it's a roller coaster and sometimes you need that encouragement from the people around you. That's why it's so important to surround yourself with those kind of people. But then you told me, what good's worrying ever done? What positive has
Right.
worrying ever brought to anyone in any aspect of things? So if you're worrying about the future or you're looking back in the past saying I didn't do a good enough job there, then you're really not focusing on what's in the present moment and how you can attack the present moment and really try and make the most about the situation that you're in at the current time.
Right. So that's like relating back to real estate. And real estate has so
Mhm.
many so many parallels to life, right? I
Mhm.
told somebody, I said, I ran, I'm sure you see it all the time. Derek, me and you probably
Mhm.
said it and don't even realize it, but oh man, inventory. Oh man, this
Mhm.
sucks. Oh man, that sucks. You know what
Mhm.
my reply has been lately?
Hmm.
Well, you are
What?
what you subscribe to. I don't subscribe to low inventory. I
Mhm.
subscribe to short days on the market. There's plenty of
Yeah.
inventory, but it's just that it goes away fast. But then
Yeah.
I also say, well, you're going to sit here and complain about it, but what are you going to do? Are you going to quit?
Mhm.
No, I'm not going to quit. All right, then. So what are you complaining about? Let's keep
Yeah.
going, right? Let's figure out some new
Mhm.
ways to, jump on that inventory before it gets off. It gets off the market, right?
Mhm.
There's inventory, but it doesn't stay on the market long. It stays on the market for
Yeah.
2 minutes. So how
Yeah.
do you become that agent that is moving fast enough to get it within that 2 minute window? I don't know, but you got to figure it out, right? You got to figure out how to
Yeah.
get more investors to move their projects up and or get their products on
Mhm.
the market. How do you get more people who are thinking about selling to sell?
Mhm.
How do like when I have buyers, I try to make it fun. Like, look, we're about to have a blast house hunting because it's wild out
Mhm.
there, right? But
Yeah.
that's what I subscribe to, and that's how I choose to approach it. And because of that approach, it changes the whole mood, right? Man, Kenyon, you said it was going to be hard out here. It sure is hard, but
Mhm.
man, we are having fun, right? Yeah, we're having
Mhm.
fun. Let's go get some Starbucks,
Mhm.
juice up, and let's get back out there and go see another 5 homes, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's such a good point. That really can tell, like you said, real estate kind of has such an impact on anything that you do.
Mhm.
If it's something that you think is worth it, and it's like, yeah, it's a struggle out here, and inventory might be low, but you have to look at things from a positive perspective. It, for instance, for people who are looking to at their careers, people, especially for people my age in their mid to late 20s, and they think the world is over because they haven't figured out exactly what they're going to want to do. Hey, spoiler to all of us out there that are in our mid to late 20s, we're still probably like three things away from where we're actually going to be at.
You
Except
guys are
me,
in the
I
golden
love
age, bro.
exactly,
It is
except
the
me, I
golden
love
age.
real estate. I love real estate and doing this, but you never know what the future can hold. You can only live in that present moment, and there's so many things you can do. So if you're not happy and you feel like your job's tough, then don't look at it as I'm miserable at my job. I don't like this. I don't want to be here. You have to look at it from the perspective, okay, this isn't what I'm supposed to do. Cool. Now I get to go out there and find what I'm really passionate about, and I get to really follow my dreams and find out exactly what I want to do. Because it's so easy to just get stuck and get complacent, and then you're just not happy. And the most important thing you can do in life is just try and live your best life and be as happy as you can all the time. So sometimes you need to look at it from that perspective of, yeah, I'm not happy with where I'm at now, but great, I get to go find what I'm passionate about. I get to go try a new thing because like I said earlier, it's never too late. You're never too late trying to find out your passions of what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I do believe that the greatest things in life come from when you're living in a beautiful state. You ever notice that?
Mhm.
When you're like in a
Mhm.
vibe, when you're happy and you're enjoying life, that's when all the good things usually happen. When you're like
Mhm.
down and you're worrying, it's like a rabbit hole. It just spirals and spirals and it never
Mhm.
gets better. And all you're doing is hoping and wishing for a break. But you're
Mhm.
not even thinking about the goodness in life, right? So
Right.
I even think about, I have a vision board behind me, right, with a bunch of
Mhm.
stuff on it. And
Mhm.
on my vision board, I have some pretty big stuff on there, like California. I have a
Mhm.
picture of a house on Carbon Beach, right? Billionaires
Mhm.
Row. I
Mhm.
have a Rolls Royce Cullinan next to a matching a private jet. They both are the same
Mhm.
color. But what
Yep.
I realized is something I had to start practicing was, all right, these are big visions. And from where I'm sitting right now, I believe in quantum leaps, but
Mhm.
there is a journey during that quantum leap. So
Mhm.
don't forget about the little visions. Don't forget about the little
Mhm.
wins. The little
Mhm.
wins that lead to those big visions. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I want a private jet, but look, I'm not there yet. I don't have a private jet
Yeah.
type of money yet. But how
Mhm.
about I start envisioning winning or my team doing like these amazing and great things. And as we're doing these things, we are, growing. We're envisioning these things. And it's just an
Mhm.
amazing it's amazing to vision all the little wins that are going to lead up to those big wins. Those big wins are so important, but how do we get there? So don't forget about envisioning the small wins first. Envision, if you're a new real estate agent, envision your first deal. Envision
Mhm.
the day you say, man, I had 25 deals this year. Envision,
Mhm.
you guys in California don't need to do that many deals because of your home price values. But over here on the East Coast, sometimes we got to do a
Mhm.
lot of deals. I mean,
Yeah.
I think my team, we do anywhere between 90 to 110 deals a year, right?
Wow.
Yeah, we do a lot because of,
Crazy.
home prices are different in some of our
Yeah.
markets.
Right.
But, get to that goal where you're like, wow, I remember when I only did 2 deals in my first year, and then now I'm doing 30 deals a year. Get to that
Mhm.
point where you're seeing like, oh, I broke the six-figure mark, and now I want to
Mhm.
imagine when I look at my bank account and I have 500,000 in the bank, and then,
Mhm.
oh, I want to imagine 7 figures in the bank. Next thing you know, you have 8. It's all about what we vision
Yep.
and what we think.
Mhm.
Our thoughts. So the magic of thinking big, I love this. Our mind is a thought factory, right?
Mhm.
Our mind is a thought factory, and there's two formins that work in our thought factory. There's foreman triumph and there's foreman defeat, right?
Mhm.
So we have to make a very um we have to make a very deliberate choice, right? Because I think we have to be deliberate in life. We have to be very intentional. We have to
Mhm.
make an intentional and deliberate choice to I don't work for foreman defeat. Foreman defeat is the
Mhm.
person that says, Derek, I can't.
Right.
Derek, I won't. We'll
Mhm.
never make it. That person won't like us. We won't win the deal. You don't want to work for that foreman. Foreman
Right.
triumph is I can, I will, I must, and I'm going to do it.
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
I'm the best. Foreman triumph is every positive affirmation you can think of. So in
Mhm.
this thought factory, we have to remember every day and make that deliberate and intentional decision to think about who we're working for. We're working for Foreman triumph every single day. And that's the magic of thinking big. Like, thinking big is I'm gonna have the Rolls Royce Cullinan in a matte gray and a matte gray private jet. I'm thinking big,
Yeah.
right? Now, okay, that's gonna happen, but in
Mhm.
between, am I gonna be upset with I mean, I have a Range Rover outside, right? I'm not upset
Yeah.
with that. It's not a Rolls Royce Cullinan, but it's a
Right.
nice car. I wanna
Mhm.
maybe, am I gonna be upset when I get a 2023 Range Rover? No,
Yeah.
I'm not, right?
Right.
But that's the magic of thinking big and always, being in control of our thoughts. And here's the thing, we are in control of our thoughts. It's just look, I
Mhm.
know it's a struggle. I'm not saying it's easy.
It is.
There's a lot of
It's
things
not.
that can
Mhm.
deter us. I mean, especially in this social media age and everything like that. So it's not easy. I don't want anybody to think that I don't understand mental health and things like that. It is challenging.
Mhm.
But when we do harness the power of controlling our thoughts and understand it, or just making an effort to do it each and every day,
Mhm.
life changes and it changes for the better.
Yeah, and it's so important, I think, to have those big goals and dreams, like the Rolls Royce, like the jet, and having those big, big goals that you want to accomplish. But like you said, also important to have those attainable goals in the near future. That's why the 12-week year, I think, is such a cool book, because it talks about having your 3-year plan, your 5-year plan, your 1-year plan, but also breaking it down into little segments of 12 weeks, because you need to really have the attainable goals so you can see results. Because if you're not seeing the results of your work, of your hard work, and really putting it in, then you get discouraged. And that's when the valley of despair comes, when you're not seeing it. It's like, okay, I haven't reached my yearly goal. That's okay. Try again. That's why I love it, because in the 12-week year, it says if you don't accomplish what you wanted to accomplish that week, that's okay. So, say I didn't read 10 pages in a book that week. Okay, normally you'd think next week I have to read 20, and if I don't do that next week, I have to read 30. But that's not how it works. It's okay, I didn't read 10 pages that week. I messed up there. Now I got to read 10 pages this week, and just get started somewhere. Because if you try and you're just going to fall behind, you're never going to be able to catch up. And then that's when people tend to give up.
Yeah, my favorite Les Brown quote: "You don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great." Right?
Hmm.
That's one of my favorite
Yeah.
quotes. I say it all the time. I also love Mel Robbins, right? So we talk about mental health. I love Mel because she approaches, the mental health
Hmm.
world in a very unique way, in a very inspiring way. And she wrote the book, The 5 Second Rule.
Hmm.
I use it all the time, right?
Hmm.
You notice I use the rocket emoji a lot, right? Lift
Hmm.
off, launch. Well, that's what the
Yep.
5 second rule was basically about, right? It was, oh, the alarm clock went off. I don't want to get up and go to the gym. Five, four, three, two,
Hmm.
one. Eliminate doubt. And you get up and do it, right? Oh
Hmm.
man, I've made 50 calls. I don't feel like making another one. Five, four, three, two, one. Boom. Just pick up the phone and do it, right? Because that
Yep.
5 seconds, whatever
Hmm.
psychologically, whatever it does, it eliminates that window of
Hmm.
doubt. It eliminates that window of indecision. You just do it.
Hmm.
Five, four, three, two, one. Boom, and go. So, I love stuff like that. But you have to, nothing happens when you don't take action, right? You have
Hmm.
to take action. And fortune favors the bold. Fortune favors the
Hmm.
bold. Think about Elon Musk said, I'm gonna make a sick electric car, right?
Hmm.
Jeff Bezos said, books, there's so many varieties of books. 'Cause I just heard him say this recently. Like the reason I got into it because there's so many variety of books. It's such a large catalog, and what if I can change the experience in buying books, right?
Mhm.
Make
Mhm.
it for your avid reader or your casual reader.
Right.
These people, the Wright brothers with flying, like every time I see a plane in the sky, I'm amazed.
Mhm.
I'm amazed that who had the audacity, the gumption to build these huge things and actually make them go in the sky and not be afraid it's going to
Mhm.
fall. And they don't fall that often.
Yeah.
Um, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Right? But, you look at the world around. Sometimes you just gotta stop and look at the world around you. Like, that's why
Mhm.
it's so, like that's why I love coming to California, being so close
Mhm.
to the ocean and the mountains and the cliffs, right? I mean, not to say that we
Mhm.
don't have that in Jersey. We
Right.
have the Atlantic Ocean, um,
Right.
but, it's more flat over here. But
Mhm.
like, right now, I look outside out my office window, and there's so
Mhm.
much wonder and amazement that it's almost like, "What am I upset about? Why aren't I taking action?" Because there's
Mhm.
examples of people that took bold steps
Mhm.
and took action everywhere you look, and it's all around us.
Yeah, and it's so you just gotta do it, and a lot of people are scared to do it because you you think you have to do it alone, but that's not
Right.
true. The most
Yeah.
successful people have a lot of successful people around them, and you have to surround
Oh, yeah.
yourself with the right people because and even so, like for me, for instance, putting myself out there, doing this podcast, doing videos on social media, a big hesitation for me was like, what if people don't like my stuff and they start to unfollow me? And then it's like, okay, then I probably don't want to be around them anyways, because
Right. No
there are
point.
people there are people out there that really want to see you win, and when you put yourself out there, there's going to be people that encourage you, and
Yeah.
people that want to bring value and kind of help support you because there's one Jeff Bezos quote I heard yesterday that I really wanted to say. He said, "Amazon's worth $1 trillion." That's insane, by the way. That's
Insane,
insane.
but okay.
Insane. Jeff Jeff Bezos owns, I think he said 13% of Amazon. So he's like, I made 130 billion or whatever his percentage was, but he's like, but that means I made other people $870 billion. He didn't look at it from his perspective. He looked at it from the perspective of I made this for other people. I
Mm,
do this for other people. And that's kind of what you're saying. Like look around, look at what all these other people have done and look at the amazing things that they created. If it impacts one person, then everything that you do is worth it. You have to find that why. For me, starting this podcast, if it helps one person, then
that's
that's what
it.
it's about. That's all that matters. The
Yeah,
having that impact on people's lives, and it could just be your life. It could be your family's life. Like starting a new career. If you're if you're a husband, a wife, and you start a new career because it ends up bettering the world for your family, then it's worth it, right?
absolutely.
And so you need to sometimes step out of that comfort zone, take that step, because if you don't, then you're always going to live. It's easier to live with the lessons you learned than to live with regret, right? Because if
100%.
you don't do it, then you're going to regret it for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I agree with that 100%. Um, you touched on a lot of great things right there, Derek. And I'm gonna tell you something. Your podcast is gonna touch a lot of people. I'm just telling you right now. So just be
I
prepared for that,
appreciate
man.
that.
It's
I
gonna touch a
appreciate
lot of
that's the
people
goal.
because
I hope so.
you're doing this out of you're coming from a very authentic place. You're coming from a place of serving, as we mentioned earlier.
Hmm.
I just feel like those are the important things in life that people forget about, right? We take it so for
Hmm.
granted. We live in a very surfacey world these days.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, people talk to me. I'm sure people talk to you. They say, "Oh, you're a real estate agent," and they all they see is what's on the surface, right?
Hmm. All I
They
see
don't
is the
really know.
material things.
Yeah, and look, I love
Hmm.
real estate, but to be
Hmm.
honest, real estate is a platform. It's a
Hmm.
platform to help people. It's a
Hmm.
platform to serve. It's a platform to
Hmm.
change people's lives, right? Whether we
Hmm.
are helping them come through a situation where they have to buy a new house or sell a house, their first house, starting the dream that they've had their whole lives, helping agents build a
Hmm.
career of wealth, build a career of success, and helping a lot of other people. But
Hmm.
just it also puts us in this platform. It puts us here in
Hmm.
this position to have an audience that wants to listen to us. They don't just want to hear us say, "Buy, sell, invest, call me." They want to
Mhm.
hear what we had to say because we're coming from a place of authenticity. We're coming from a place of, we want to help, we want to serve, and we want to make a huge impact to the world, man. So you're going to touch a lot of people with this podcast, man. I already know it, man. I can't wait to be in studio with you, man. Because I'm when I get my jet,
Yeah.
the gas is
Yeah.
going to cost me a lot because I'm gonna be flying
Yeah.
back and forth to the West Coast just to hang out. But
Yeah,
it'll
for
be it'll be
sure.
worth it'll be worth it.
It'll for sure be worth it. And yeah, like that's the goal. Like you said, it's a lot of people see the material things, but in the end, you're not going to be able to take those material things with you when you're gone. You're going to be able to take that value and take that impact that you left on people out there. And I get a lot of inspiration from you, and starting this podcast, having that impact is I'm super thankful to you for your mentorship over the time. And I know that we work together, we inspire each other, because that's what it's all about, man. Your
Every
vibe
day,
attracts
man.
your tribe. So I appreciate you coming on, sharing a lot of your wisdom with the listeners. And I hope that everyone takes some good value out of this, because we're just getting started. I'm going to have Kenyon on a lot more. He's going to be definitely a recurring guest, because he's got a lot of good stuff, a lot of awesome experiences to share. So yeah, why don't you tell them where they can find you on social media, and tell them about your podcast too.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, man, thank you once again for having me, Derek. It's been an absolute pleasure. I will come on anytime you ask,
Hmm.
man. You don't even have to ask me. You just put it on my calendar and I'll move around things to be
Awesome.
on your podcast. But
Appreciate
yeah,
that.
my main platform is Instagram. You can find me at real
Hmm.
estate agent 007 on Instagram. I
Hmm.
think it's K Hunter 007, or I am K Hunter 007 on TikTok. Trying to get my TikTok game up, but
Yeah,
it's
that's a
yeah,
tricky
I'm
one.
getting
Yeah.
there. But I try to reply to every single DM. So
Hmm.
at real estate agent 007 on Instagram.
Hmm.
Please check out the Evolution App podcast. It is the podcast platform. I mean, the podcast that I
Hmm.
created. Sounds like my team name, but I named my team that for a reason, because I always knew that it was just bigger than real estate. It was about
Hmm.
evolving and evolution. That
Hmm.
means a lot to me. So the Evolution App podcast, it streams on all your major favorite podcast platforms, also on YouTube. Kenyon Hunter,
Hmm.
the Evolution Ave on YouTube. You can follow my channel
Hmm.
because I do record everything and put a lot of video content out there.
Hmm.
And it's all about good vibes. It's all about good
Hmm.
vibes, about shifting your mindset, making an impact to the world, and
Hmm.
just being good, because we're not here for a long time, but we're here for a good time. And so while we're here, enjoy it. Change some lives, and just rock out, man.
Yeah, awesome. Well, again, thank you so much for being here, and thank you to everyone for checking us out and listening. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to subscribe, and follow on the YouTube and on Apple and Spotify. Please, you can find me. You can find this at the Loading Podcast. You can find me on Instagram at the Derek Quinn, on all social medias, actually. And yeah, hope for continued success for you, bro.
Yeah.
Thanks again for joining me.
Likewise.
And remember, be a friend, tell a friend about the show, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. See you later.
Got it.